very fortunate that when I applied for my job and had indicated that I had worked in learning collaboratives before in the DC area, that was a huge asset to me in the position that I was applying for. I believe in the interview they had said they had never seen somebody who had had learning collaboratives or continuous quality improvement and PDF sailing cycles in their resume and in their skill set. And I can definitely say that the coursework at the School of Public Health certainly prepared me for the theoretical components of all of those things. ISCOPES was really the place where I was able to apply that and say that I not only learned about it, but here are the places that I actually did it. I'm Sarah Oravecz, and I am currently a project coordinator for the Child Health and Development Institute of Connecticut, where I'm responsible for implementing and disseminating a mental health best practice for children in Connecticut. I have been involved with ISCOPES since I first started at GW a few years ago now. ISCOPES stood out as a fantastic opportunity that wasn't at a lot of the other schools. I started working as one of the first team advocates. I was really working with the Healthy Teen Scholars learning community that aligned really well with my interest in maternal and child health and my concentration at GW. I look back, and a lot of the skills that I developed while I was in ISCOPES I may not have known were going to be extremely helpful in my day-to-day work that I do now. The one thing that sticks out to me day in and day out is really those interprofessional competencies. Teamwork, communication, values and ethics, shared responsibilities. I mean, these are things that no matter what organization, what field, what space that you're in, these are essential core competencies that I was so fortunate to develop during my time working with ISCOPES. As we are implementing the evidence-based practice MATCH, it's a clinical treatment model. It's a modular approach to therapy for children experiencing anxiety, depression, conduct, and trauma issues. So this is a clinical model, and we're disseminating it through a learning collaborative, but how we're really going to be able to sustain this practice in Connecticut is really going to be dependent on the community that we establish and that we foster through these intensive one-year processes. I don't work with any other public health folks in my job right now. And for me to be able to synthesize, both a state perspective, research and academic perspective with the applied community health perspective, sometimes it can be challenging to find a similar understanding. We may all be saying the same thing, just in very different ways. And so in ISCOPES, that has told me it may sound different from 4 different perspectives, but you really have to be able to find what the common thread is there and how to translate some of those things. I think a lot about, what it would be like if I did work with a lot of other colleagues that were in interprofessional spaces. And I think I definitely have found that at CHDI and have tried to cultivate that in a way that is really bringing progress and change.
My name is Jack Liu. I am a social worker who's been practicing in the field for about 15 years. The 3 major areas that Sarah and I collaborate on is around some innovation around the integrated care systems, the second being around cultural competence and climate committee that we're integrating within CHEI, and the third around a focus of social determinants of health and public health and how that framework really helps us understand the health conditions that populations continue to live in. Sarah actually brings a lot of strengths to CHDI. I think there are several main areas in her strengths. Not only does she approach the work in a very compassionate way, she's very collaborative, she's very team-oriented, she really focuses on what needs to happen in terms of goal orientation, but is also flexible and willing to adapt her strategy. I think that adaptability really frames how to be successful, because you're working with multiple partners, people that are very much aligned with you and sometimes against you. She has great ability to navigate very difficult situations, work with people from very different orientations, different disciplines, different areas or walks of life. And she successfully stays organized and ensures that while original goals that are set are met, she also introduces, I think, more innovative goals that may not have been truly envisioned at the onset. I think CHI recognizes her as a really valuable team member.
That ISCOPES family is not just during your time at the school, but that it goes farther into your profession, into your career. I think what is in ISCOPES is really good. How do you provide real life experiences with a pause button? And that gives you the time to think and to brainstorm and to bounce, ideas. And how do you create that? I think you have the start of something really good. I think there's a lot of brain power and passion and heart to make that a reality. And I think it's just putting all of the good heads that are here together and really making it happen.